Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another reading of the Bible. We are in 2 Samuel 14. My plan is to finish this book, especially by the end of this year. Um, we will get into Isaiah and all the other prophets next year, beginning next year. Um, the first video will be released on the 7th, right? Yeah, on the 7th. For sure on the 7th. Uh, next video, the first video for Isaiah, and maybe, yeah, just Isaiah. First Kings, Second Kings, the Chronicles. I'm still working on the Chronicles, First Chronicles also as well. Um, but for sure, Isaiah, we will begin Isaiah next year, and the first video will be released January 7th, 2024. So stay tuned for Isaiah in 2024. Okay. So this is 2 Samuel 14. 14. Now Joab, the son of Zeruiah, perceived that the king's heart, that's David, the king's heart was toward Absalom. Joab sent Tekoa and fetched thence a wise woman and said unto her, I pray thee, feign thyself, or pretend thyself to be a mourner, and put on now mourning apparel, and anoint not thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had a long time mourned for the dead. Come unto the king, or go to the king, speak on this matter unto him. So Joab put the words in her mouth. When the woman of Tekoa spoke to the king, that's David again, she fell on her face to the ground and did obeisance, saying, Help, O king. The king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and mine husband is dead. The handmaid had 2 sons, and they two strove together in the field. And there was none to part them, but the one smote the other and slew him. Behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid. And they said, Deliver him who smote his brother, that he may kill him. For the life of his brother whom he slew, and for the life of his brother whom he slew, and we will destroy the heir also. And so they shall quench my coal which is left, and shall quench my coal. That's probably a donkey, I'm guessing, which is left, and shall not leave to my husband neither name nor remainder upon the earth. The king said unto the woman, Go to thine house, and I will give charge concerning it. The woman Tekoa said, Unto the king, my lord, O king. Sorry. The woman Tekoa said unto the king, My lord, O king, the iniquity be on me, and on my father's house, and the king and his throne be guiltless. The king said, Whosoever saith aught unto thee, bring him to me, and he shall not touch thee any more. Then said she, I pray thee, let the king remember the Lord thy God, that thou wouldest not suffer the revengers of blood to destroy any more, lest they destroy my son. And he said, As the Lord liveth, there shall not be one hair of thy son fall upon earth. Then the woman said, Let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak one word unto my lord the king. And David said, Say on. The woman said, Wherefore then, or why then, hast thou thought such a thing against the people of God? For the king doth speak this thing as one who is faulty, and that the king doth not fetch home again he banished. Is banished. For we must needs die, and are as water spilt on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither doth God respect any person, yet doth he devise means that his banished be not expelled from him. Now therefore that I am come to speak of this thing unto my lord the king, it is because the people have made me afraid, and thy handmaid said, I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaid out of the hand of the man who would destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of God. Then thine handmaiden said, the word of thy lord, of my lord the king, shall now be comfortable. For as an angel of God, so is my lord the king, to discern good and bad, or good and evil. Therefore the Lord thy God will be with thee. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, hide not from me, I pray thee, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, let my lord the king now speak. King David said, is not the hand of Joab with me in all this? And the woman answered and saying, as thy soul liveth, my lord the king, none can turn to the right hand or to the left from anything that my lord the king hath spoken. For thy servant Joab, who bade me, and he put all these words in the mouth of thine handmaid. To fetch about this former speech hath thy servant Joab done this thing, and my lord is wise, according to the wisdom of an angel of God, to know all things that are in the earth. The king said unto Joab, behold, now I have done this. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom again. And Joab fell to the ground on his face, bowing himself, and thanked the king. And Joab said, today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, my lord, O king, and that the king hath fulfilled the request of his servant. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. The king said, let him turn to his own house, and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Israel there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his foot and even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. When he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it. Now the word polled there, verse 26. Polled, cut the hair off. Cut the hair off of his head because the hair was heavy on it. Therefore he cut it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. 200 shekels. Unto Absalom there was born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of fair countenance. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face. Wow. Therefore Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he sent him again the second time, he would not come. Therefore he said unto his servants, see, Joab's field is near mine, and he hath barley there. Go and set it on fire. And Absalom's servants set the field on fire. So then Joab arose and came to Absalom unto his house, saying unto Absalom, wherefore have thy servants set my field on fire? Or why has thy servants set thy field on fire? Absalom answered Joab, behold, I have sent unto thee, saying, come hither, and I may send thee to the king to say, wherefore or why am I come from Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. So Joab came to the king and told him. And when he had called for Absalom, Absalom came to the king and bowed himself to his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom. Chapter 15. It came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him. Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate, and it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him, saying, of what city art thou? And he said, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. Absalom said unto him, See, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed or deputized of the king to hear thee. Absalom said moreover, Oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause may come unto me, and I would do him justice. It was so that when any man came near to him, or nigh to him, to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. On this matter did Absalom to all Israel who came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. It came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode at Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. The king said unto him, Go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron. This is Absalom, going to Hebron. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. With Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem who were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. Absalom sent for Ahithophel, the Gilonite, David's counselor from the city, even from Gilo, while he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. There came a messenger to David, saying, The hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. David said unto all his servants who were with him at Jerusalem, Arise and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. The king's servant said unto the king, Behold, thy servant are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. The king then went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women who were concubines to keep the house. The king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in the place that was afar off. All the servants passed on beside him, and all the Karatites, and all the Pelatites, and all the Gittites, 600 men who came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ittai the Gittite, Wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger, and also an exile. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day make thee go up and down with us? Seeing I go whither I may, return thou, and take back thy brethren. Mercy and truth be with thee. Ittai answered the king, saying, As the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, surely in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also will thy servant be. David said unto Ittai, Go and pass over. Ittai the Gittite passed over, and all his men, and all the little ones who were with him. All the country wept with a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness. Lo, Zadok also and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God, and they set down the ark. And Abiathar went up, until all the people had done passing out of the city. The king said unto Zadok, Carry back the ark of God into the city, if I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord. Bring me again, and show me both it and his habitation. But if he thus say, I have no delight, behold, here am I. Let him do to me as seemeth good unto him. The king said also unto Zadok the priest, Art thou not the seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz thy son, and Jonathan the son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet, heard of that area, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot, and all the people who were with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. One told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. It came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount where he worshipped God, behold, Hushai, the Archite, came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head, or dirt. Unto whom David said, If thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. Hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priests? Therefore it shall be that what things soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. Behold, they have there with them their two sons, Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. And by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye can hear. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came to Jerusalem. 16. When David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him, with a couple of donkeys saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. The king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? Ziba said, The donkeys be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. The king said, And where is thy master's son? And Ziba answered unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem, for he said, Today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertain unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I find grace in thy sight, my lord the king, my lord, O king. When King David came to Bahirum, behold, thence came out of a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. He cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men who were on his right hand and on his left. Thus saith Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Lord hath returned unto thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. The king said, David said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, Curse David. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? David said unto Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son who came forth of my bowels seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. As David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him, and cast dust. The king and all the people who were with him came weary, and refreshed themselves there. Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. It came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king. Absalom said unto Hushai, Is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? Hushai said unto Absalom, Nay, for whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. Again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in thy father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, Give counsel among you, what shall we do? Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all who were with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. The counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. Chapter 17. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid, and all the people who are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seekest is as if all return, so all the people shall be in peace. The saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, Call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. When Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner, shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou. Hushai said unto Absalom, The counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. For saith Hushai, Thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be shaft in their minds, or chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with a people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit, or in some other place, and this will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, There is a slaughter among the people who follow Absalom. He also that is valiant, he also who is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they who be with him are valiant men. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea, for multitude, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and of all the men who were with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it unto the river, until there be not one small stone found there. Absalom and all the men of Israel said, The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord had appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, Thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, Lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all the people who were with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed with En Rogel, where they might not be seen to come into the city. And the wench went and told them. Wench, verse 17, wench, twice servant, a maidservant. A maidservant went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom, but they went both of them away quickly and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. The woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and spread ground corn thereon, and the thing was not known. When Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, "Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan?" The woman said unto them, "They be gone over the brook of water." And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. It came to pass after they were departed that they came up out of the well and went and told King David and said unto David, "Arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you." Then David arose and all the people who were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. There lacked not one of them, who was not gone over Jordan. When Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his donkey and arose, and gate him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, hanged himself and died, and was buried in the sepulchres of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra, an Israelite, who went into Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Uriah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. It came to pass when David had come to Mahanaim, the Shobai, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel, of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beds, basins, and earthen vessels, wheat, barley, flour, parched corn, beans, lentils, and parched pulse being parched seeds, honey, butter, sheep, cheese of kin, cheese of the herd, right, 29, cheese of the herd, for David and for all the people who were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry. The people is, that's a grammatical error there. The people are hungry, weary, thirsty in the wilderness. All right, so there's a few chapters there of 2 Samuel. We start in 14 to 17. Hope you enjoyed it.